Hello and welcome to EHIS version 2.0. Super excited to show you this demo today with all of our updated stuff. So this is where you would log in, or you can create a new account here. We prefer if you create a new account on our blog site, which is e-his.ca. So that's just loading now to the blog, and then you'll see in the top right hand corner there's sign up and login. We prefer if you do the sign up over here. It can give us just more details about your private practice, who you are, where you're from, that kind of stuff, which is really similar to the create new account over here. It's the same sort of stuff, but this create new account is just for the charting software, whereas with the blog there's a couple more options on more services that EHIS can do to help you. So there's health providers, support providers, transcriptionists, and guest accounts. So a guest account is for clients rather than for health providers. And so a guest account has limited to no access to any of the software, just the messaging system, whereas the health provider, support provider, and transcriptionist have more access to the charts so that they can actually you can actually do your jobs. So health provider is your like therapists and psychologists and all of those sorts of roles. It's got full access to the charting system. So let's go back to the login screen here. That login information, you can get it over here if you hit just that sign up button. And it's just loading here. And then try the EHIS demo. We're also going to put the demo link on the main page of the blog. And so yeah, if you just hit that, try the EHIS demo, there's the username and password to be able to get into the application. So let's get started. Let's log in. This is the home screen of the application. One of the new things that I'm really excited about is that you can actually change the color now. So I don't have my Hello Kitty skin yet, but I'm getting close. So you can pick your color that you want your application to be. You can also shrink the menu bar. That was the same as what it was before, just to keep it really minimal, clean. We're going to go over this top right area here. This is your user profile, so it's all the information that you registered with us, and your licensing number and that kind of stuff. As you guys know, we screen you to make sure that you have an up-to-date registered license. This is if you're subscribed to the newsletter. And then this is for the community section that we're going to go over later. It just talks a little bit about you and who you are. And so other EHIS users can see this and they can contact you if they need to, or if they're reaching out to you, if they want to collaborate, ask you questions, that kind of stuff. That's all that is for, is just your profile, kind of like your Facebook profile. So there's also the My Messaging system. You'll get an alert if you receive a message on the system. This is great for communicating with your team, messaging other EHIS users, or even messaging your clients that have guest accounts in the system if they have questions about their homework, or you wanted to give them something that you forgot in the appointment. So yeah, you can access all the contacts and chat with anybody on the system, and these are private encrypted messages, so you don't have to worry about security like if you were chatting online or through Facebook. Their change password mechanics are also in the top right hand corner. You don't want to give us access to your account with your password. You don't want to share your password with any other users. That's definitely something for just you to know. So the change password mechanics are in the system, and then there's also forgot password mechanics built in outside the system on that main screen, and it'll be communicated to the email address that you registered with us for resetting your password. So you don't have to contact us for that. You should be able to do it all internally in the system. Okay, so let's move on to this left menu bar here. We'll start out at address book. This is where all of the charts are stored. Every single client that you have access to will appear here. In our previous version, you were able to access the charts by breaking the glass on a chart that was existing in the system. You were able to search every chart in the system. We've gotten rid of that feature in this update. So here's what it looks like in just like a general chart that I have access to. See how it says closed chart? That's saying that this client is active and I'm working with them. I haven't discharged this chart, so it is showing up in my charts. So let's look for a client that I've actually discharged, so they don't even show up in my charts anymore because I'm not in their circle of care. So we're looking for Jane Doe. See, she doesn't show up in the search at all. I can't find her. So I'm going to add that chart back in, because let's say Jane Doe is seeing us again. So Jane Doe, and then the date of birth and name is like the matching mechanics that we've built in so that you can get into that chart again. So we're going to hit OK. Boom, here we go. The patient is already in the system. So EHIS is a cumulative charting system. Everything is built around the chart and not around you, the provider, or your clinic. And so you just have to look it up. It'll say, even if this is your first time seeing a client, but they're already being seen by somebody else in the system, you'll still get this warning sign, and that's fine. You just open the chart and enter your reason for opening the chart. This is information that is stored in the chart. It's used for security audits, and other people in the circle of care can see why you're seeing that client. This doesn't mean you're sharing your charts with them. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to see their records. This is just the breaking the glass part that we're about to do here. So you just put in your reason for seeing the client, hit OK, and then you get access to their chart. So again, now we can see that whole front area where the client lives, who the client is. This used to be accessible by in the previous version by anybody as a way to like see if you have the right client, but now this is protected by this new security layer that we've developed. So where are we going now? So patient's chart. Okay, this is what you can see now is demo can see 2 entries by demo because we already saw this client, remember? So this is from our previous time seeing the client, and we had closed the chart before. We had discharged the client, so they were outside of our circle of care. We weren't seeing them anymore. They weren't on our address book anymore. But now that we're back seeing them, we can see our previous records. And this is also handy too if you had to subpoena the records or like give the records to the client directly for like privacy and like reporting reasons. You can still get your previous records. They're not deleted. They're not gone. They're in the system. You just don't have to deal with them. The chart is locked. And so, but see here, I can only see demo's records. Let's see who else is in this chart, who else has been entering records into this chart. There are 3 health professionals that are also in this chart, as you can see. So these are just all fake accounts because it's a demo. So like health provider is in this chart, but we can't see any of health provider's entries. We can only see demo's entries. So later on, we'll talk about sharing charts with like another provider so you can actually see their records and see what they're doing. This area is for diagnosis, and you can just add the diagnosis and it records who added that as well. So that's it for this main address book patient chart kind of area. Since we're in here anyways, let's add a chart record. These are all templates that are already built into the demo profile. This will not, if you're brand new to EHIS, you won't have any templates whatsoever in your system. You can only access templates that you have made or integrated from the resource store. So the ones with the little carts have been integrated from the resource store. That's a one-click button way. And the ones with the smiley faces there, those are ones that you've made in your own template builder, which you can choose to publish to the resource store to share with your team, or you can keep private in your own account. So let's find a chart here. Oh, that didn't work quite right. I accidentally clicked on a different chart. So we got to go back to the other one and click on that S bar. This is what a finished chart looks like. This is the lockbox record that prevents anybody else from seeing your record, even if you're sharing the chart with them. They won't be able to see. If you can see here, it's been grayed out. That's how you know it's been signed. Let's move on to the correct area. There we go. So here is a brand new template that we haven't signed or saved. It's a common nursing template is SBAR, situation, background, assessment, recommendations. So you can just fill this out as you would a typical chart. So we're saying client reported sprained hand. Client fell downstairs is the background. Our assessment is hand is sprained. So we're going to leave that recommendations empty. We're going to pretend that it's an accident, and we're going to seal this chart by signing it. You'll notice there is a save button. If you hit save before sign, that's okay. It just saves it as a draft format, and you can go in to finish your chart later, which is definitely recommended because we only have a one-time amendment. If you need to change like when you saw them or any sort of comments on location tracking, that's what this general tab is for. And we already kind of briefly talked about lockbox, that this is how you seal a record so that nobody except for allowed health providers, which is a button that you add other health providers into, can actually access that lockbox, like that locked record. So you can share a chart, but not all your records. So we're going to just lock that, and so you can see the mechanics of that later. We're going to assign it now. So it creates it as a legally sealed record. So legally sealed records cannot be destroyed or deleted. Everything is grayed out, so we can't change it again, and an amend button popped up here in the bottom. So when you hit the amend button, you're going to get new tabs that pop up because we cannot destroy the original chart that was legally signed. So, but then you're able to type in that recommendation that we accidentally forgot, and so I recommend ice and elevation, and then you would sign this amendment to seal it as well, or you can save it as a draft if you wanted to finish it later. So we just signed it. So now that is it. You cannot change either of those now. That was your last opportunity for updating the chart, changing the chart. At this point, you'd have to enter in a whole new chart record to make any sort of change. But these are both legally recorded and cannot be destroyed. So now we're back onto the main screen of Jane Doe's chart. Let's move on to my charts. That we got bounced back there because we hit the save button. So this is the My Chart section. This is